everyone, I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. So today we're taking a look at the Su-7BMK, the new premium strike aircraft that's been made available to Russia in War Thunder's Red Skies update. Now this is a rank 6 premium with a battle rating of 9.7 for simulated battles. Now to get the Su-7BMK you need to purchase it as part of a pack. So the pack costs $60 US, it contains the aircraft, obviously, and you also get 2,000 Golden Eagles and 15 days of premium account time. Now this aircraft also represents the first edition of any vehicle fielded by Egypt into the game, and it comes with a rather nice looking Egyptian desert camouflage to boot. Unfortunately, that's kind of where the good news ends with this aircraft, I'm afraid to say. As a premium aircraft, it feels somewhat superfluous, and when you take a look at the Russian tech tree, it's kind of easy to see why. We'll kind of just disregard the fact that I don't have any of rank 6 actually unlocked yet, but let's do a quick bit of comparison, shall we? Now, the Su-7BMK is a strike aircraft, so it has some ground ordnance options. So you've got 250s, you've got 500 bombs, you have some S-24 unguided rockets, you have some S-3Ks and some S-5Ks, which is all well and good. However, the Su-7s in the tech tree pretty much have the same kind of stuff. In fact, the Su-7BKL has slightly more when it comes to rockets, in fact, so you're actually getting an ordnance downgrade if you're going from the BKL to the BMK. The BMK does have two NR30 cannons, but they've only got 160 rounds between them, so it's not exactly going to be very good at engaging air targets unless you happen to be either chasing a bomber or you get incredibly lucky and you get on the 6 of somebody who is unaware. The other reason why this aircraft feels so superfluous is because you get another rank 6 premium, which is the Yak-38. Now this is an aircraft that has excellent air-to-ground ordnance options, including some ATGMs, but it also has excellent air-to-air ordnance as well. You get a couple of R60s, and you can in fact take a mixed loadout of, say, bombs or rockets with the R60s as well, and it has some pretty slappy cannons to boot. So right now, it kind of feels like this is a bit of a wasted opportunity, bit of a wasted aircraft when it comes to adding another rank 6 premium for Russia. I can see why they did it. You know, we've got essentially a premium fighter, even though it's listed as a strike aircraft here. You know, we might as well add something that's more for the ground attackers, but honestly, it doesn't give anything new for ground attack players than what they can already get in the tech tree. Like, the only reason why you would buy this is if you wanted to buy into top tier Russian jets and you wanted to bomb more than you wanted to engage in fighters. And particularly for arcade and realistic, I really feel like this is a bit of a waste of money. In Sim, it's got a bit more versatility to it, I will admit, but when it's sitting there next to the Yak-38, why would you bother? It's just, yeah, I'm a bit confused as to why this one was added, I'll be absolutely honest. It's a lovely aircraft, it looks amazing, but bit of a missed opportunity. Despite that, what we'll do is we'll take it into a couple of games. I'll run through how it should be played and what its advantages are in Sim versus its very glaring disadvantages that it also has. So let's take it out for a spin. Now, when it comes to flying the BMK, the bigger the map, the better. And that is because you want to have as much physical space as possible between you and any potential adversaries. Now, this game was done on the Chinese Civil War map, which is one of the smaller ones available in Sim, so the Su-7 is not particularly well suited to this. However, this map does now have the modern airfields and Roland defense SAMs, which is nice. It means there's a much more likely chance of actually surviving takeoff and landing with a slight reduction in airfield strafing. People were still attempting it in this game, but most of the time they were getting clapped out of the sky before I got hit on the runway. Now, the key to using the BMK is making use of its ballistic computer, which makes it ideal for high-speed attack runs. Also, a point to note is you have no countermeasures, so when you've got no countermeasures to fall back on, speed is king. Speed is what's going to keep you alive. Speed is the only thing that is going to help you when you're being chased by somebody that has lots and lots of missiles. Now, something else to bear in mind on these kind of maps, people will be able to intercept you very quickly. The flip side of this is, because the map's very small, it's also easy for you to intercept enemy attackers that are coming back from bombing runs as well, like we have with this AV-8 here. We're actually able to squeeze off some rounds with our guns, and I was hoping to get a kill here. Unfortunately, the friendly Yak-38 on my team decided to shove an R60 up my bum, because I think they were still under the impression that the old friendly fire immunity bug was still in effect. It is not. You can friendly fire with IR missiles again. And in fact, IR missiles in general are very dangerous for the Su-7, so it is not advised to fly at high altitude. A better map for this jet is Sicily. It's a bit more spread out, there's a bit more space, and the ground battles are usually easier to spot targets for. Now, I was a bit disappointed with the unguided rockets with this particular jet. They weren't very effective at taking out tanks. Mind you, the tanks in the Sicily map and some others are a bit more tanky now because they're actually using proper tank damage models like you get in Ground RB and Ground Sim, so something to bear in mind with that. Definitely a bit more useful to use bombs rather than rockets at the moment. We did get lucky though, because as we were coming out from that particular attack run, we came across a low and relatively slow F-104, and this actually awards us one of the few gun kills I've managed to get with this aircraft so far. I think I've only managed 3 or 4, and this was the most recent kill that I got there, so I'm not too sure what that person was doing low and slow with no afterburners. They might have been out of fuel, who knows. Now, if you are feeling particularly brave in the BMK, you can use it for airfield attack runs as well, provided you're going fast enough. Now, the modern airfields do have better defences, they have SAMs and autocannons, however, provided you're quite good at manoeuvring out of their way, you can still make a attack run. However, it is not without risks, as you will see here. We do actually still get hit by either a cannon round or a glancing missile hit, and it does cause some damage to the aircraft. Thankfully, it wasn't critical enough to knock us out of the sky, and we were able to get our ordnance off and destroy one of the units on the airfield. Now, when I was recording this game, airfields were incredibly fragile. It only took one bombing run to destroy a single module. Turns out this was a bug, and it has since been patched by the time this video is going live, so I'm quite glad to see that, because it actually kind of felt like a waste of bombs when you're able to destroy an airfield module so quickly. I don't think all of my bombs were even needed for it. Now, where the Su-7BMK actually excels is attacking tanks with bombs, thanks to its ballistic computer. Provided you predict where your bomb is going to fall accurately and you put it a little bit ahead of the tank, because of course the tank is a moving target, you'll be able to get a successive number of ground kills, and it is incredibly satisfying once you get it figured out. And of course, because this is a premium aircraft, your rewards for doing so are going to be higher than if you were using a normal aircraft. Now, with this, it's even more lucrative if you are able to find yourself a convoy to destroy, because when you're carrying up to 6 or 8 bombs, if you drop them in a staggered formation, you can usually take out a good bulk of the convoy, provided they are driving in a straight line, and that is incredibly satisfying. Now, personally, I think the Vietnam map is one of the best suited maps for this aircraft. It's got lots of mountains, you can hide down there and get out of people's radar range, and honestly, there is nothing more fun in VR than taking out a high-speed bomber, doing a low-speed attack run, and then taking it back through the mountains as you race back to base, avoiding enemy air fire, avoiding enemy ground fire. It is one of the few benefits of having a sort of an aircraft of this type in this game, because provided you know the good routes back to base, you can have a lot of fun just enjoying the scenery and just seeing trees whiz by a couple of dozen meters from your head. Just watch out for the hitboxes. Some of those trees are bigger than they seem, and I did crash a couple of times doing this. I'm not afraid to say that. The other benefit of being low to the ground is you don't get any missiles shoved up your backside. The one time I decided to go up to altitude, this happened. The other map that really suits the BMK is the new Denmark map, which is currently available as a player-created EC room. It's still undergoing testing and modifications, but so far I am really enjoying this map, particularly for this kind of aircraft like your high-speed attackers and bomber aircraft. The reason for that is the map is huge. It is by far the biggest map available for sim games at the moment, and it has a large amount of open space. This gives you the benefit of sneaking through enemy fighter screens and attacking your targets in somewhat relative peace. My advice would be to hug the ground as much as you can, because being Denmark, everything is flat here, there are no mountains for you to hide, and if your opponent is in, say, a Phantom with radar guided missiles, you could be in a lot of trouble. The other advantage of Denmark is it spawns, I think, 5 or 6 bombing targets, so there's usually more than enough to go around if you and a couple of friends all happen to be in vehicles that have got ordnance as well. That being said, I only feel like there's maybe 3 or maybe 4 maps where this aircraft can be used to its full potential. Denmark, Vietnam, Channel Crossing, maybe Sicily at a stretch. Like, Sicily still feels a little bit too small, but I think this, Channel Crossing, and Vietnam, they're the 3 best ones. These 2 in particular, this and Vietnam. Channel Crossing can be quite hit and miss, especially if you have a lot of people patrolling the sea. Of course, the one drawback with Denmark is because it is nice and flat. The moment you appear on somebody's radar, it is essentially game over, because this aircraft does not have chaff, it does not have flares. You're in a very large, very heavy aircraft, and you cannot outrun sparrows when the enemy is this close to you. It's pretty much game over unless you get incredibly lucky. So all in all, the Su-7BMK is a very capable strike aircraft. However, it does struggle going against other players in combat jets due to its lack of air-to-air ordnance and its lack of countermeasures. You do get RWR, but that's only going to let you know that somebody's chasing you. It's not actually going to stop the missiles or essentially do anything else other than passively scream at you in a loud beeping noise. Out of the 3 game modes, this aircraft is probably going to be the most useful in sim, and I say that for either air sim or ground sim, although I think in ground sim this thing is going to struggle against player-controlled SPAAs with the anti-air missiles. I think air sim is where this thing is most useful, if you could call it most useful. It's got a ballistic computer, so it's good for bombing, but honestly, there's other stuff at this tier that can carry better ground ordnance than what you get with the Su-7BMK. So right now, I would not recommend this as a premium to buy. I personally feel like it is overpriced for $60 as a premium. If it was cheaper, maybe like $40 for a premium, I might recommend it. I might consider getting it, but why would I get this when I can get another rank 6 Soviet jet that can do the same thing and more, has more anti-fighter capabilities, and honestly feels a bit less boring? Like, it's a boring premium. I hate to say it because it looks really good, especially with the camouflage, but it's a boring premium. Anyway, guys, that's my review on the Su-7BMK. Bit of a depressing one today. The next reviews coming up will be for the MiG-21, so stay tuned for that one. But until then, thank you all very, very much for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Goodbye.